Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello Sobat Hebat Matsa Surba. How are you today? I hope all of you are happy and stay healthy at home. Welcome back to Matsa Surba YouTube channel with me, Mr. Heru Haryadi. Okay, for today, we are going to explain about procedure text. This materials is for 8th grade students. Okay, the procedure text here I will focus on recipe. For basic competence for this meeting are 3.4, membandingkan fungsi sosial, struktur teks, dan unsur kebahasaan beberapa teks prosedur, lisan dan tulis dengan memberi dan meminta informasi terkait resep makanan atau minuman dan manual, pendek dan sederhana, sesuai dengan konteks penggunaannya. 4.4, menangkap makna secara kontekstual terkait fungsi sosial, struktur teks, dan unsur kebahasaan teks prosedur lisan dan tulis, sangat pendek dan sederhana dalam bentuk resep dan manual. Well, these are the basic competence for today, but in this meeting, I want to focus on recipe. Okay, and for the learning objectives for today, the first one is you are able to differentiate the social function, structure, and language feature of recipe and manual. And the second one, you are able to identify the social function, structure, and language features of recipe. Alright, before I explain the materials about recipe, I will show you a picture here. Yeah, this is a man that the man is cooking, doing such an activity that is cooking. Okay, do you like cooking, students? Yeah, actually cooking is such fun activity, right? Because we can cook and we can make our favorite food or drink by ourselves, right? So here we are going to learn about how to read or how to comprehend the recipe. Okay, next, procedure text. In this meeting, we are going to learn in some aspect. The first one is the definition itself, and then the social function of recipe, and then the structure of the recipe, and the last one about the language features in the recipe. Okay, the first one is I will explain to you about the procedure text in general. Yeah, procedure text is a text that explains or helps us how to make or use something. Okay, I will divide the procedure text here into two. The first one is recipe, and the second one is manual. So what is the definition of recipe actually? Okay, recipe is a set of instructions for preparing a particular dish, including a list of the ingredients required. And about the manual, manual is a book of instruction, especially for operating a machine or learning a subject. But in this meeting, we are focused on recipe only. How about the manual? For the manual, we are going to discuss it in the next meeting. So for today, we only focus on recipe. Okay, the next aspect that you have to learn here about the social function. The social function of the recipe is to tell the reader how to make something effectively and efficiently. Well, the next is about the generic structure of recipe. Yeah, actually there are three parts in recipe. The first one is goal or title. And the second one is ingredients. And the last part is method. Yeah, in goal, here stating the goal of the recipe. It means that the name of the food or the drink that we want to cook. Ingredients, it is a list and amount of things or materials required. So it can be, it is ingredients about the food or drink that we want to cook. For example, maybe a banana, flour, sugar, and so on. And about the method here is stating the steps to make the food or drink. The steps here is usually in sequence. Okay, the next one is about language features. What is language features? Language features is a kind of sentence or sentence structure or special words used in recipe. Okay, the first one is imperative sentence. The example here, the first is heat the pan, wash the potatoes, put the noodle into the pan. So this kind of sentence included in imperative sentence. It's called imperative sentence. Okay, the second language features in recipe is usually there are some conjunction written there. The first one is first, blah blah blah. Second, blah blah blah. As I said before, that the steps of the recipe is written in sequence, right? So the conjunction here is used there. First, for example, first heat the pan. Second, wash the potatoes, and so on. Okay, the third language features here, action verb. For example, heat, stir, put, wash, pour, bake. Okay, usually this action verb is written in the beginning of the sentence. Okay, the next language features is amount or number. For example, here a quarter cup, 45 gram, 2 pandan leaves, 1 tablespoon, 2 teaspoons, and so on. And the last language features that usually written in a recipe is passive sentence. For example, here 4 green apples peeled, 2 pandan leaves shredded. Okay, I'll give you the example about the procedure text in the form of recipe. Here, how to make a cup of coffee. Alright, I will read for you the recipe of how to make a cup of coffee. To make a cup of coffee, you will need a sachet of instant coffee, a spoonful of sugar, and a cup or 240 milliliters of hot water and milk or creamer, optional. After preparing the materials needed, you can start to make the coffee. First, boil the water about 1 cup or more. Second, place 1 sachet of the instant coffee into the mug. Third, add 1 to 2 teaspoons of sugar if desired. Fourth, pour in 1 cup 240 milliliters of boiling water, then stir until combined. Finally, add some milk or creamer if desired. The coffee is ready to serve. Okay, this one, the first example of recipe, how to make a cup of coffee. I will show you the structure of this recipe. As I explained to you, there are 3 parts about the structure of the recipe. The first one, how to make a cup of coffee is a goal. And then for the first paragraph here, it's called ingredients. Ingredients needed to make a cup of coffee. And then the second paragraph here, the steps. Okay, I will show you another example so you can differentiate about these two recipes. Okay, the second example of the recipe that I will show you here, cheesy fried egg. And the ingredient, an egg, 5 spoonfuls of cooking oil, a pinch of salt, some grated cheese. Okay, for the steps, there are some steps written here. The first, pour the oil into the frying pan and heat it. Second, break the egg into the frying pan. Next, cook the egg for 3 to 4 minutes. Then, put some salt on the egg. Take out the egg and put it on a plate. Finally, sprinkle the fried egg with grated cheese. Okay, students, can you differentiate the form of the first example that I already showed you in the previous slide, and for the second example of the recipe that I show you, that here the goal is cheesy fried egg, and for the ingredients and for the last is steps. Okay, actually the structure is the same, right, for the first example and for the second example, but the form or how the way this recipe written is quite different. In the first example, it is in the form of paragraph, but in the second example here, written in the form of like a list, some list here. Okay, ingredients is written, ingredients here written in the form of list, and also for the steps is also written in the form of list, something like this. Okay, so it's quite different between the first example and the second example. Both are correct. Well, for the next meeting, we are going to learn still about procedure text, but we will explain about another submaterial that is manual. Okay, I think that's all for today explanation about recipe. I hope you can understand about my explanation. If you have difficulties to comprehend the materials, please contact me in Google Classroom. Well, students, thank you for your attention for today. Please keep studying. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.